Hello and most welcome to the Limitless Show, all the ladies and gentlemen who have joined me over here on YouTube. Happy Navratras to you. It's the third day of Navratras, and I'm sure there must be a lot of celebrations going on in your homes. So, wish you a very, very auspicious Navratra. May the Devi be absolutely blissful and happy and stay put in your homes. So, today is a very special episode once again because the guest I have for today, she was a corporate warrior. She spent 29 years of her life in the corporate world. She is Shilpa Joshi, and she held numerous positions of responsibility in her corporate life. She began as a person who worked with the national airline at the airport and rose through the ranks to become president of the premier bank in India. From there, she took on an executive director position in a multinational corporation. Her journey has been quite a roller coaster, but it has only enriched her life experience. Astonished by life's ability to surprise, uproot, and compel to grow, Shilpa realized that being good is not enough, that it's essential to continue to learn. And that's what exactly she did. And she authored a book later on, The Empower Code, 7 Personal Powers for the Next Level, Richer, Stronger, Happier You. At the peak of her corporate career in the midst of COVID, with strong inner calling, Shilpa embarked on a transitional journey that completely changed her life. She went from feeling financially distressed, trapped, and burned out to creating the next level of a success and relaunching her career. And now she is on a strong mission to enable sincere, hardworking professionals to get unstuck in their careers and live life on their own terms. She's also the CEO of and founder of Empower and coaches her students and clients internationally across geographies for mindset and skills. So, ladies and gentlemen, with a warm round of applause, let's bring on Shilpa Joshi.
Hello, hello, hello.
Thank you so much, Shilpa, for joining me here.
Thank you so much for having me. And I want to wish all our viewers and your audience, wonderful audience, happy Navratri. And this is a phase where we imbibe the Shakti and the power which is around in the atmosphere, and may that stay with you forever.
Yes, yes. So Shilpa, let's begin with your journey. Let the audience know what kind of a journey you have been through to set a context for a further conversation.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And thank you for that very warm welcome and the introduction. And I think you have covered some part of it. I'll add some bits and pieces there as well. So Anshu, I started my journey as anybody in the typical middle class conventional family does. Study hard, get good ranks. If you get good ranks, go for science, complete the study, and try getting a job and keep working harder, right? And I started working very early, as I wanted to get married to the person of my choice. I wanted to take financial responsibilities. So I started working very early at the age of 22. And as you rightly said, I worked with an airline. And that was a very different experience. Nobody in my family has done that. We all believe only in the academic careers. And for me, it was a lot of learning. At a very young age, I could get experience of variety of people, speaking to variety of people, handling very unpredictable circumstances. I think God was preparing me for what is coming next in my life. And after that, I became a probationary officer. I think 20 years back, there was a concept of you giving competitive examinations.
Yes.
And then you become a probationary officer in a bank. And so I worked with an old private sector bank for 10, 11 years. Only when I was thinking, oh, this is my life, it is okay, happening good, life throws something at you. And I had to transition one more time in my career. And that time I went to a very premier private sector bank in India, which is leading India right now. And I could see great leaderships. I could see great opportunities, and I kept applying my knowledge and my hard work. And coming from a background where my parents always would tell me, Shilpa, do your best, keep your head down, keep working hard and sincerely.
Right.
Even my mother-in-law, my in-laws supported me like anything. So I kept working. What I used to think, Anshu, and maybe we all share the same view sometime, is that you just do the good work and things would fall in place. And I believed that for a very, very long time. And I'm absolutely a firm believer of a hard work. However, I realized only working hard is not enough. And that's when I say being good, only good is not enough. You have to get better and you have to keep striving being the best. You also have to acquire certain skills, knowledge, and own up a lot of things in the work so that you can scale up. And that's when I scaled up to another premium bank in India, and I became vice president, president there. That's when there is something happened in my life, and I took a turn, and I had to leave my job. And that's where I can say that I left a job once in a very wrong way, and then I got back in my career, established myself, gained whatever I had lost, and then I transitioned my career the right way. And this journey, I have seen a lot of ups and downs. And when people thought I'm very successful, I was actually feeling burnt out. And actually, I was reaching to a phase where I was feeling stuck. And that's when I took that leap of faith. And now I'm on a journey of my career, which is my next level career. And here I am talking to you, the same person
Amazing.
who's so inspiring to speak to, Anshu. I connect so well with you.
Thank you so much. You are inspiring too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Shilpa, I think after 29 long years, which is like, oh my God, like 3 decades, was it frightening to transition from there to something which is totally unknown? So, what was the way in which you did it?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question, Anshu, because this is very critical and important question. It is always scary. It is always scary when you change the job, when you are doing something different you have not done. Even sometimes you get internal transfers, you're worried, what am I going to do, how my boss is going to be, how my team is going to be, and everything. But when you take a bigger step, bigger career choices, it is very scary, because let me tell you, top ladder, sometimes when you go top on the corporate ladder, that place is has to have a fine balance, but sometimes it's also a very lonely place, and there are very few people around you whom you can actually speak out your heart.
Yes.
And I had done wrong decisions before, and I faced a lot of issues at that point of time, so that was also there on my mind. But I thought there has to be some way to make it right. It cannot be this way. So I invested in myself.
Mhm.
And I'm grateful to a lot of people, the books I read, the mentors who coached me, the kind
Mhm.
of inspiration came to me, maybe from God, from the super sources. I
Mhm.
so much trust in the superpower. And that's when I decided there has to be a right way of doing it. And then
Yes.
I invented the way wherein I could step by step proceed towards the career transition. And let me tell you, like now I'll be completing 1 year after the transition. And now I realize that if I had not taken that step at that point of time, it would have been the biggest regret of my life. And yes, that's why I came up with a career revival model, so that people who are sitting on fence, people who
Right.
feel transition is scary,
Mhm.
how we can strengthen their journey so that they can take the call which is right for them.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that's so true. The things that resonate with you, the things that you go through in your life, they become your biggest strength.
Yes.
And then you are able to empower people with the same set of things. That's so true. In your book, you state that life makes you vulnerable when you least expect. It makes
Yes.
you accept reality and then gives strength to overcome it. So, what do you mean by, it makes you accept reality and gives you the strength to overcome it? Could
Okay.
you narrate some significant detail of any place where this you were able to actually really make it happen in the same way? I mean, you shared your journey
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
any specific area.
Yeah. Let me speak about mostly about the career, because there are many aspects about the life. But when you're a working professional, especially a senior working professional, what happens is your work becomes the center of your life and everything keeps going around it, right? So I will speak about from the context of the working professionals and the career. As when you have a certain position and when you start working with certain organization and you get into the culture, because you also have to be compatible to the organizational culture to stay long term. And I always believe long term working with an organization,
Right.
as long as we both are growing together. What happens is you start taking things for granted, right? You think, now I'm going to stay here, I'll just keep doing best work, I'll keep adding value, I'll keep learning more, and then that's it, like my life is set, right? Like then you go for loans, you go for this, and then you
Yes.
start upgrading your lifestyle. And that's when, if sometimes the situation changes, it was a one particular situation which changed with me, and I thought I cannot continue like this. And I didn't expect it actually, Anshu. Like I was not prepared to leave my well-paying job, right?
Hmm.
But then
Hmm.
certain things were not resonating with me, certain things were extreme, and I had to take certain calls. And that's where I say life makes you vulnerable when you don't expect it.
Yes.
Yeah. And this happens in our relationship, this happens in our health, this happens in all aspect of our life. We think, oh, everything is fine, what is there to
Yes.
worry, right?
Yes.
But what happens is that life shows you what you're not doing, right? There is now new lesson to be learned.
Yes. Absolutely.
And what I've seen is that when I felt that way and I was wondering, oh my God, starting all over again after working for so many years, like it was very, very uncomfortable place. So that's why I say acceptance is the first thing. We keep denying a lot of things. We keep putting our feelings under the carpet. We want to disregard how we are feeling internally. But
Yes.
acceptance is the first state. When that strikes on your face, okay, pause,
This is
accept.
how I'm feeling.
This is how I'm feeling. And I'm feeling vulnerable. There is nothing wrong. It is not
Hmm.
absence of power when you feel vulnerable. It is only for you to recognize you need to gain certain more powers in your life.
Yes.
And that inspired me to write the book as well. What exactly is a personal power? Because everybody told, we get these wonderful quotes in the morning and people keep saying, hey, you are enough, everything you need is within you and everything. Then I was thinking where it has gone. Why it is not helping me now when I'm feeling so vulnerable, so lonely? Why it is not showing me? That's when I got a signal, Shilpa, this was okay for your previous self. If you have to take this life, recreate what you want, and you have to commit to the family, the fulfillment of your obligations and commitment, you'll have to start rebuilding yourself. And all that what I had lost gave me a lot of insights. And that is when I started building. And that's when I say, don't take life for granted. It is okay to enjoy the present, but also be future ready.
Yes. Be prepared for anything that might happen. Be always ready for that.
Yeah. So under my mission, I'm on this mission to make working professionals future ready. It is okay, you enjoy your position, you enjoy what you have earned, but don't lose a sight on the future. What is that I'm missing out? What is that coming on my way? Because
Hmm.
we have huge responsibilities, we have family, we have loved ones to be taken care of. We also
Hmm.
have to take care of our own selves.
Yes. Amazing. So in what way do you help these professionals be future ready? When you say future ready, yeah. I mean, what are the things that you help them with?
Okay. So actually, most of the time, the career changes or the career transitions and everything start with, updating CV. Okay, let me update a CV now. That's time to leave a job, look for something else, right? Then we start
Right.
updating that. We start circulating that. And then we say, hey, this is in confidence. Don't share with anybody in case you have an opportunity. And then we do all this process, and that is the way things work. Okay, so there is nothing against that. But what I realized is that after changing a job, after few months, why I'm finding myself in the same place, why I'm still not happy, right? I've seen some people, there's some of my colleagues, some of my peers and my clients, they feel changing a job for a sake of higher package, position, or maybe to have a new boss. And then the things are set. But after a few months, we feel, is, is this what I was looking for? Right.
Right.
So that's when I realized there has to be a different way of starting, especially once you work for 15, 20 years and you wonder, is that it? Is my life for earning the money and paying the bills? What else am I doing? So I help working professionals to first understand themselves. And I believe high self-awareness is the beginning of new journey. So once you understand yourself well, then I take them on the next journey, because by then they have a conceptual idea and a clarity in which direction they want to move.
Right.
So it is not just, let's update your CV, let's get you prepared for an interview and you would have the next promotion. That's a
Yes.
short-term view. I try to build their long-term vision so that now next 2-3 decades, there is not only a success, but also fulfillment. That sense of being of value, that sense of having a significance in life, and not to do this or this, right? Either you have job or you have family time. Why is that, right? Can you integrate everything together so that your career beautifully supports your life? And then you start doing what matters to you most. So my career revival journey is that I help working professionals. First of all, I'll tell them not to be panicked, not to quit the job without proper planning, strategic thinking, and knowing the direction.
Yes.
Because you quit a job and then if you worry, I think that's the worst place I have seen, at least. Right. So how I can help them not to see those pains and lessen their struggles and make this journey a very beautiful journey for them.
Right. A smooth one.
The smoother one. There are going to be bumps, Anshu,
Yes.
like we all have been working, like the success is
Yes.
never a straight line. It is
Yes.
always an up and down and up and
Yes.
down, right? But what I
Right.
believe is that with that up and down, if at least keeps moving forward and
Yes.
with lesser deviation from the path,
Hmm.
that's our job as a mentor or as a coach, right? How you
Yes.
can reduce that extreme down
Yes.
and how you can help somebody bounce back faster, what they need on this journey. So this is a planned strategic journey, and this is to align with them. When your career is aligned with who you are, I think that becomes a very long-term, sustainable, fulfilling journey. That's
Yes,
what I help them with.
absolutely. Right, right. So when you talk about personal power,
Yeah.
Shilpa,
Yeah.
what personal power did you find or maybe fine-tuned in yourself when you were struggling and when you were in the transition phase and
Yeah.
you already accepted that you were feeling a certain way
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you had to move from there?
Yes. Yes.
So what were the personal powers that you tapped into?
Okay, a beautiful question. Firstly, Anshu, if with your permission, I would like to elaborate little more on my concept of personal power. And since we are already always told like, okay, everything is within you. Okay.
Yes.
My concept of personal power, what I have learned from my insights, from the journey, from my mentors, from the beautiful people who contribute and my clients as well, is that personal power is a mix of three things. It is power within you, which is already God gifted to you, and everybody has that power. Every single person has that
Yes.
strengths and gifts. But along with that, there is a power around you.
Yes.
Which could be in the form of the books, like the books we read, right? It could be in the form of our mentors, coaches. There are beautiful kind of insights in the YouTube videos, sometimes motivational speakers, anything like the skills, knowledge. That is power around us. Our loved ones, they're also our power, right? And then the third type of power, which can be acquired by you, but that can be acquired by you. These are the skills, these are the special type of knowledges. These are the 7 personal powers you can acquire, so that your journey of personal powers becomes very strong one. And if you ask me the question like which is that personal power you'll start building on, I would say it would be the first power would be the power of self confidence, authentic self confidence. Most of the time we take very hesitant actions and not complete courageous action because we feel, oh, okay, do I really have it in me? And self-belief is a very huge thing, because you never exceed your own expectation from yourself. You will always be within that bubble of who you think you are, right? So once that starts expanding, your sphere starts expanding, your confidence starts building, I think you have a unique power to take on the journey and whatever comes on your way. Not worried about the questions, not worried about whether I'll find the right answers, but knowing inside, whatever the questions, I would find a way. And I'm speaking of that kind of a power.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you tapped into your authentic self-confidence, and then your self-belief,
Yes.
and then you took the leap of faith,
Yes.
gathered all the courage, and just went ahead with whatever comes. I will be able to tackle it.
Yeah, because most of the time, and for everybody, is that there is a fear of unknown always.
Always,
There is
yes.
always a fear of failure. There is a fear of rejection, and there is
Yes.
a fear of embarrassment.
Yes.
These fears keep us stuck. And what
Hmm.
starts happening is that we start delaying things,
Yes,
right? And we don't
absolutely.
own up who we are. We feel, oh, what if somebody says no to me? What if what I've done is not right? What if somebody criticizes me? What is going to happen? But if you believe in your own self, and you
Hmm.
believe in the faith, you have faith in the journey, I think the journey can be faster and smoother as well.
Yes.
And I've seen this happening. And when I learned that not only procrastination, but perfectionism is also a progress killer, that was the biggest learning of my life from my mentors. So I was, but always thought, when you're in corporates, like you also have been working in corporates, right?
Yes.
We always believe everything has to be 100% correct, and that's absolutely right. But then sometimes that made me so conscious about making a
Yes.
mistake that sometimes you don't try something new.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So now I've understood the fine balance between it, and now I know how can I choose progress over perfection whenever
Yes.
needed, without compromising with the quality and standards I've set for myself.
True. True. Beautiful sharing. So, what is self mastery according to you, Shilpa?
Oh, what a wonderful, beautiful question, Anshu. Self mastery is, I would say, is a journey. It's not a one time process. And I'll tell you why. Because that self in that mastery keeps evolving. What it was, what it is, and what is going to be is always different. And that's the beauty of our journey, right? What I was some time back, I had different expectations of myself. Where I'm standing now, and I see lot different expectations from myself, and that's when the self mastery concept would change. Firstly, I would say is that if you are having a very high self awareness, and then self acceptance, and knowing what are your non negotiables, I think you are good to go on a self mastery journey. Also knowing what needs to change and what I need to actually acquire, so that I can at least have a better control over me rather than trying to control everybody else. I
True.
think that is the beginning of self mastery.
Hmm. Very interesting. So, I think you also talk about some 3C model
Yeah.
for your personal growth. What are those 3Cs that you focus on?
Okay. So actually, I focus on 3C model is that clarity,
Mm-hmm.
then confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and then commitment.
Okay.
Because unless you have a clarity, you would not take actions with confidence. And
Yes.
unless you have this both, you will not have your commitment to the success.
Yes.
And one thing I've learned about commitment, it cannot be just decision. It has to be something more than that. Commitment backed by plan, commitment supported by daily actions, and those have to be courageous actions. Right?
Hmm.
And commitment has to have a formal structure. If you say, I'm committed to uh, lose 5 kilos, right? That's your commitment to yourself. But what is the structure for that?
What is the plan?
What is the plan? Are you going to eat less, or are you going to eat the way you eat and walk more? What
Yes.
is your own personal strategy
Right.
about it? But just
Right.
deciding that I'm going to lose weight, yeah, that's the first step. But you
Yes.
also have to have clarity. What is that you're going to do? What do you mean by losing weight? Are you just
Right.
interested in standing on a weighing scale and seeing lesser number?
Right.
Right? And do you have that confidence in yourself? Some people start only with a dieting saying that I cannot do this. I cannot eat less. Right?
Right.
So even knowing that is okay, but where the confidence is coming from, unless you know, you always do what you say you will do.
Yes.
So I think these three C's are very important. And there are beautiful models where I talk with working professionals also. What are the type of actions you need to take when you say I'm committed?
Right. Hmm. So, is upskilling applicable to anyone? Because you talk about being future ready,
Yes.
and being future ready means constantly. I mean, your school and college education will not help you be future ready. That's for sure. So, upskilling is something that you focus on, insist
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Is that for anyone and everyone, no matter what background they are from, what kind of a role they are playing? Maybe even a homemaker, I'm saying, for that matter, not only a professional,
Yeah. Yeah.
even a homemaker who wants to be future ready.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's a beautiful question. And homemakers are big contributors to keep our system stabilized and running. Right. That's a huge support system, and I respect them. And yes, absolutely, everybody needs skill. Whether everybody needs upskill, that would depend on where they are right now and
Mhm.
where they want to be. If they are very happy the way they are functioning in their life right now, in their career, I
Mhm.
must say they would have already acquired some kind of a skills which would need some kind of a polishing. But
Mhm.
especially when we look at the area where we are struggling, we are having some kind of a pain, or we have a feeling of lagging behind, or we have certain aspirational goals which needs total different level of skills. So
Okay.
what kind of problems and pains we have, and what kind of dreams and aspirations we have.
Right. Right. And
For
where's the gap?
closing, where is the gap? So this closing that gap, it will not
Hmm.
always be the degree and certificate. It could be in the career,
Hmm. Hmm.
but along with every technical skill, I call them technical skills because it is must. Like you are doing a job in a finance department of a financial institution,
Hmm.
having the financial knowledge and the skills, it's given, like it is must,
Hmm.
right? But even being there, if you want to succeed, become a leader, just finance knowledge may not be helpful. You will also have to adopt the people skills, the
Correct.
negotiation skills, and the communication skills. So I would say, even for a homemaker, if she's very happy, if she's having wonderful relationship, she's able to take care of her own self, and she wants to then become a very more efficient homemaker who's also has a financial independence, then
Hmm.
maybe she'll focus more on her finance skills,
Right.
right? Or becoming financial independent, or investment skills, how to manage money, how to multiply money skills. So it
Hmm.
depends on where you are and what are your pain points at this point of time, or what are your aspirations. And if there
Hmm.
is a gap, then definitely along with the knowledge, skills are very important, right? But what I always also say, Anshu, when people think about skills, they directly enroll for some courses and do it, right? But it is
Yes.
not about one particular type of skill for everyone.
Right. Yes.
What
Yes.
is that you're trying to achieve, and if
Yes.
those skills matches that. For
Hmm.
example, some people are very successful but they don't have social skills. When it comes to mixing with community,
Yes.
being open and out there, they're not there, right?
Hmm.
Some people have decided I'm an introvert, so I will not have any selling skills or closing skills. Even that's a myth. If you're
Right.
going to be heading any organization, having
Hmm.
some kind of interpersonal skills and communication skills are going to be needed,
And I
right?
think, Shilpa, if I'm not wrong, interpersonal and communication skills are a benchmark, I think.
They are
They
benchmark.
need they need to be learned by anyone and everyone.
Yes,
To be
absolutely.
even for a homemaker,
Yeah,
because she has to handle so many different families, so many different people, and if you're not doing it right,
yeah.
I think it affects your life, not
Yeah,
only your career.
absolutely. Absolutely. But what has happened, Anshu, is that communication skill has become such a common cliche word, right? Everybody says,
Yes,
I'm learning communication skill.
yes,
I
yes.
would want to tell them to ask the question, for what?
Yes.
What exactly you want to achieve by learning communication
Learning it.
skill, right?
Yes.
Whether
Yes.
you want to speak to your children well, communicate well with them, or whether you want to negotiate better with all the vendors, or you want to be in close touch with your in-laws, family, or are you a team leader and you want to communicate well with your team, or
Hmm.
are you somebody who's going to be a keynote speaker, or are
Yes.
you somebody who presents the concepts to the senior management team on behalf of your department or
Right.
to the clients? What kind of communication are we talking here about, right?
Absolutely.
And then understanding what goes in. And apart from that, I think there are certain skills which we are not even talking. It is like problem finding skills. People always talk about solution, but how, unless you are a good problem finder, you can find a solution? Are we treating only symptoms, or are we really understanding the problem well?
The
Some
root
people are,
cause.
yeah,
The
the root
root cause
cause,
of it.
even the
Yeah.
even going below that, a seed cause. Also there are another skills like critical thinking. People decide
Hmm.
on the go while they're traveling life's important decisions, right? For example, decision making is a skill,
It's a skill. Absolutely.
and this all can be learned. I have a podcast, and I'll share a link of my podcast. I do it with my colleague Dr. Amandu, and that is about the lead talk. There we were talking about communication, leadership skills, and then we went through a lot of definition. What we understood is that apart from the definition, it is more important to know that it's a learnable skill. Lot of skills, people think you should be a born leader. Array, he's he's confident since birth. You can't learn it.
Yes.
That's a myth. I
That's
want
a
to
myth.
tell
Yes.
everybody, if you want to be something, you most of these things are learnable,
Yes.
and that's what matters.
That matters. Yes. Yes. And
But choose the
nothing.
right skill to spend your time and energy and money on. That's very
Absolutely.
important, because everybody's enrolling for one particular skill. Maybe you are already good at it, but you need to learn some other skills as well.
Yes, yes. It's not a rat race. It's seriously, having clarity of who you are, what are your pain points, and what are the outcomes you want to have in your life, what are your
Absolutely.
aspirations, and yes, bridging them very beautifully, actually, you put it very simply, and yet, you hit the nail right on the head. People just go आजकल क्या चल रहा है market में, everyone is doing cloud computing. Oh, let's go for cloud computing. Oh,
Yeah.
everyone is doing communication skills. Let's go for communication skills. That is how most of the people go. They
Yeah.
really have no clarity of what they want in their life, where
Yeah.
they want to go. But just because the lot of their friends or colleagues are doing that, it's a good skill to invest into and learn. Even if,
Yeah.
tomorrow after learning, they find that it's irrelevant to them. They are
Yeah.
least interested in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And very good point you're bringing out, Anshu, is also about whom to learn from,
Yes.
right? Because I always tell people, because we need to educate people also where to invest. Self investment is absolutely necessary, and I
Yes.
am a firm believer of having a mentor and a coach, because there is an element of accountability, right?
Yes,
Why you
yes,
suddenly start losing weight when you pay dietitian? Why? Because they're holding you accountable. Apart from giving you all the tips and techniques and the
yes.
diet plan, you have to go and stand on that scale next week, right? So
Right.
that element of accountability is very, very important. And that's
Right.
when you go to gym, and if you have a personal trainer, I think your regime and seriousness changes. So that is why you need a coach and a mentor as well, apart from the skill and the guidance, right? But what is important is that whom are you considering your career coach, or a communication coach, or whatever part you want, right? Look at what results they have. Are you wanting those kind of results? Then go for that. If the
Yes.
gap is too much, we will feel, okay, I cannot even reach there. So then there is a demotivation there.
Yes.
So see somebody who is few steps ahead of you, have done that,
Yes.
understands your journey, and
Yes.
actually accomplished where you would want to see yourself.
Yes.
So choosing your mentor and a coach is also very, very important.
Very crucial. Absolutely. Right. So, you are also a high ticket coach. I mean, and before I ask you about that, what are some of the skills, some of the vital skills you would say?
Mhm.
which makes anyone future ready. That
Okay.
most of the people should know or should
Okay.
learn. Yeah.
Okay. So let me talk here from specifically a career perspective, because
Mm-hmm.
that's where I have my most of the expertise and the experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say for being a future ready, see the gap where you want to be and where you are now. Understand what is the gap about. Is it a knowledge gap? Is it an attitude gap? Is it a mindset gap? Or it is also a skill gap? And then somebody is a individual contributor and becoming a team leader in the future obviously needs leadership skills. And I think for that matter, I would always recommend everybody to have that leadership skill, because it is
Mm-hmm.
for self leadership. There is a leadership element involved. You have seen some of the greatest homemakers, they're best leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they lead their houses, right? That's why you see some kind of particular culture, discipline, some kind of an atmosphere at the home, right?
Right.
Same way, as a leader, you create a culture and atmosphere in your organization. So I would definitely say leadership skill. I would say effective communication skill. It is not just going to some place and saying whatever you want to say, but whether it is landing perfectly for the audience you are talking to. So second
Right.
one would be that.
Mm-hmm.
Third one would be people skill. And under people skill, there would be a lot of things coming in, like negotiation, like discussion, like presentation, like, understanding the team, understanding their aspiration. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things would come under the people skill as well. And
Right.
then I would say there would be high impact skills like consultation skills,
Mm-hmm.
coaching skills, closing skills. These are all high paying skills. And
Right.
also looking at the industry where you are, what
Mm-hmm.
are the types of skills you need to acquire? So one is
Right.
technical skill, keep getting better at that, because
Right.
there is a fear of being redundant,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So keep be good at your game,
Yes.
and simultaneously bring your personality into it,
Yes.
and develop all the skills which are going to beautifully enhance your delivery of the service.
Yes.
If it is you are doing meetings, you need to have an influence, how to create influence, impact
Hmm.
skills. So
Hmm.
there are some of impact skills and influence skills also. What if people are not even bothering to listen to you when you
Listen to
keep
you.
going and you're being very monotonous and say, okay, we should do this, and then there is no force, right?
Right.
So these are impact skills, how to be an impactful leader or influential person,
Yes.
and then use it, because I think good people should have good skills, right? Because when good people, good, I mean in the heart, very sincere, having get that integrity, and those who would use the skills for the betterment of society and their loved ones and the community around, if they
Hmm.
acquire this highly impactful skills, I think they would be able to deliver massive results and bring on that transformation.
Hmm. Absolutely. What you're saying is truly correct. And so let's come to one of the skills, you're a high ticket coach.
Yes.
So, what does a high ticket coach do? What role do you play?
Okay, so as a high ticket coach, I've gone through number of months of trainings, and I have learned the new skills, as I was saying about the persuasion skills and the impact skills and the
Right.
influence skills,
Right.
also the consultation skills, being coached, that is also a skill. But when you become a high ticket coach, you start understanding is that it is more about giving the value. It is
Mm-hmm.
not just about coming and delivering what you know, but a high ticket coach knows how to create an impact so that other person starts changing his perspective,
Mm-hmm.
starts understanding his limiting beliefs, what's holding him back, and
Mm-hmm.
help them to break that barrier, right? It's a self created barrier, so
Mm-hmm.
that now they can start moving forward,
Right.
so that they can handle whatever is coming on their way. So I coach my international clients especially to see what's stopping them, what's holding them back,
Mm-hmm.
and where it is coming from,
Right.
how, and what is the best way of letting that go, so that now you're able to see the further path. Otherwise, there is a fog, there is own created fog in front of your eyes, how to clear that. So I've been learning from my mentors, and I've been coaching my clients. So it's a beautiful journey of learning and taking that forward, and then creating people who are going to serve this world powerfully as a coach, as a consultative coaches, right? So that is what is my mission, is helping people to deliver their results so powerfully that not only their clients gain from there, but they themselves have a very fulfilling journey. So
Right.
that's what I do.
Beautiful. So, how, how can you build unshakable confidence? Because in the three C's, spoke about confidence being one of the factors, and true. When you are confident from inside, you truly become unstoppable. So, what? But how can you gain that?
Okay. So I'll try to explain the concept, because we have a very short time here, and it's a very big and huge concept. And I want everybody to know that whenever we explain something here, there is so much more going around it. So it's very important to learn the concept in deep, right?
Yes.
But whatever I can give you right now is that I have seen the confidence comes from believing in your own self. That's a simple form of definition I can say. Once you are happy with yourself, once you trust yourself, that's what confidence is, right? And that's why we bifurcate. Sometimes we think, oh, this person, why is faking confidence? And some people, you look at them and you think they are naturally confident. They have that unshakable confidence because this is coming from an authentic place. I don't have to show and exhibit anything. I have to own it up.
Yes.
And for that, if I build my competence, that's what I have learned, that confidence comes from competence. For example, you are going to give a speech to public tomorrow, and most of the people hesitate going on a stage and standing out there, right?
Right.
But what if somebody who's so scared, maybe he would have a shaken confidence first few times, but what if he goes and keeps practicing again and again and again till the day he actually has to deliver a speech? Would you think that practice would make him more confident?
Yes, absolutely.
Why? Because he has just shown his own self that this is not difficult for me. It's not showing others. Most of
Yes.
the time, people use confidence to show others. And that's where when they don't show approval or validation, we think our confidence is shaking. Right?
Yes.
It's not confidence shaking, it's we shaking inside, right? Because we are first not prepared. So
Yes.
prepare, but not only positive preparation, also do negative preparation. What could go wrong? If you're ready for that, I think it becomes very difficult to shake yourself because of small mistakes. Right? So confidence is a process where I called it's a two-way process. It's inside out mostly, but sometimes it is outside in. For example, there could be few days I would be very vulnerable and here and say, it's not that every day you feel so confident and great, right? You are a human being. There are emotions, there are things happening around us, they affect us,
Yes.
right? And what if you have to do something on the same day? What if you
Yes.
have an important client meeting?
Yes.
Right? Then start looking your best. Start putting on your best clothes where you feel you reflect, that reflects good on you.
Yes.
Start building that. And then something inside would start shifting. Have that power poses, have that posture, have that positiveness in the mind. So that sometimes outside in approach works, and
Yes.
sometimes most of the
In
times inside out approach works. So
yes.
when I help people build confidence, I work on both the things, right? And I see that it is a sustainable one. It's not like I pump up somebody, motivate someone, and they
Right.
do well on that particular day, and then second day they feel, oh my god, it was terrible, I cannot do it again. And then there is a crash of confidence. So what I would say is unshakable confidence will come from your competence, your high self awareness, which is maturity, and also building your resilience. I'm a huge believer of resilience. And once you
Yes.
start building your resilience, the confidence would stay with you.
Very true. Great. Do you believe in the limitlessness of a human being, Shilpa?
In a way, yes, because we are, it's a very interesting question, Anshu, because somebody asked me this question. And are you a human being thinking that you have some spiritual aspect, or are you a spiritual being who's having a human experience? So it depends on what you choose to believe. If you believe I'm a human being and I may have some spiritual experiences, sometimes we come across a lot of limitations. But if somebody believes they are spiritual beings and having human experiences, because spiritualness itself is a limitlessness.
Yes.
Right? And that's why we are expanding, we are growing, we have seen things happening we never imagined 10 years back, not even 5 years back. I think that's a part of limitlessness. Even the hope is the concept coming from being limitless. Otherwise, where from the hope would come?
True.
Yeah, because there is no boundaries, there are no limits to the extent you can grow.
Yes.
But that has to be supported by some kind of a work and some kind of upskilling, some kind of your inner work as well. And that's when you really start feeling, now this is the new limit I've set for myself. Right? And now I will only have to break it to become limitless.
Yes.
So I believe in the concept of limitless, and it's a very fascinating one for me. And who can tell that better than you, Anshu?
Thank you. I 2 years back, Shilpa, when I was actually between a complete shadows and looking for a way forward, some ray of light. That was when my mentor appeared in my life. And looking at him and his background and what he had achieved in his life, my context completely expanded, because till that time I was feeling very limited.
Yeah,
I was feeling like God knows, what I can do. You feel limitless from inside, but since you don't get the context from outside, you tend to limit yourself.
yes.
So you always feel that I can do so much more, I feel, but I don't know how to. And maybe I can't. Maybe the people who do it are predestined to be legendary or be successful to that extent. And then you suddenly meet, as you were talking about, choosing your mentor. So the person you resonate with, who you feel is a few steps ahead of you. And then you are able to really believe in their journey, that okay, yes, this person has walked that path, so if this person can do it, I can do it too.
Yes,
That was my moment of, I would say, where my context expanded and this whole limitlessness came into the picture. And I found my purpose, and all this show, everything was born from there. So
yeah, that is so beautiful, Anshu. And when you're saying that, I also realized, like, somewhere inside, there is no limit, but sometimes that feels scary as well.
yes.
Yeah. So so to have somebody in your life as a mentor whom you can look up to, relate and set that context, that this is a possibility if I do this, and then you truly start believing in becoming a limitless person.
Yes.
And you can be limitless in your own way, right? Everybody will not be limitless in every aspect. Somebody can be limitless in innovation, somebody can be limitless in their strengths, and somebody can be limitless in the warmth and the love they can give. So everybody has his own way.
Yes, absolutely. So every human is limitless
Yeah,
in their own unique ways.
it's true.
No two people are same.
Yeah,
Today,
that's the
Shilpa,
beautiful.
yes, that's the beauty of the whole thing. God created all of us different, yet unique, and yet limitless.
Yes,
We all have something to give to this world.
yes, absolutely. Even that feeling is so beautiful.
Yes. So, Shilpa, we quickly move on to our lightning bolt round.
Okay. That's exciting. Okay, I didn't know
Yes.
that is happening. Okay.
Great. So, Shilpa, what is the number one secret to closing anyone on anything?
Getting more yes, because that building the trust is the best way, I think.
Okay. What would be your top 3 breakthroughs that you went through in life that changed the course of your life? Some of the 3 breakthrough or aha moments that you had and that helped you kind of, decide further and take the journey ahead?
Okay, so one is that I became an author. I never considered myself as an author, and I thought I cannot never write a book, right? So actually writing it and publishing it, that was a breakthrough for me. I leaving the job wrong way and losing the saving of my 20 years of life. After that, rebuilding my life and seeing that possibility was a breakthrough for me. And the third one was this leap of faith of leaving the career when you're on the top and everybody thinks everything is fine, and that's the worst time to leave in the midst of corona, and leaving that and taking that leap of faith to walk on a journey which is fulfilling. These are the top three breakthroughs in my life.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Pleasure.
Who has inspired you the most in your life?
Actually, there are many people who have inspired me. So if I say one, it will not be right. But I would definitely say my mother, my mother-in-law, and I think all my mentors, and especially my daughter and husband, definitely my sister inspire me because they all are such a strong human beings. They're very powerful in their own way, but they still are very grounded. So I would say that.
Lovely. What is that one thing that helps you change from feeling low at one moment to upbeat?
Okay, interesting question is the change of emotion. Once I start shifting that emotion of what tires me most, Anshu, is feeling helpless. Once I start knowing that there is a hope and there is something I can do about it, I start moving from low to little higher.
But how do you change that emotion?
I would change that by, I think there is a power in prayers. I believe in power of saying a prayer. I also believe in power of being close to nature. I do either of these two things. I observe nature because then you realize that you are an insignificant part of this and you don't have to cry so much over this. So nature teaches me a lot. I get inspired by nature, and I'm a strong believer in the superpower. So when I pray, I feel some strong presence, and then things begin to shift.
Amazing. What's the next item on your bucket list?
Next item on my bucket list. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, so that is to launch my new course very soon.
Okay.
Which can be helpful to all the working professionals who find their life is a trap, if they're struggling, and they definitely know inside them that they're meant for something more.
Yes.
And that's why I'm creating something for them. So that's next on my bucket list.
Great, great. And I wish you all the best for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you a foodie, Shilpa?
I am. I love food.
Then what is your most favorite? I mean, I'm sure you love everything, but the most favorite one?
Okay, the most favorite one, if you ask me, actually, there are so many things I relish, and me and my husband and my family, we can travel distance for the food. And that's why, I can keep talking about the food. But if you are asking me at any point of time, sitting at home, it's nice, warm, what we call in Maharashtrians, varan bhat is simple dal chawal with ghee and lemon on the side. I think that would make my day.
Amazing. I also love my dal chawals.
Yeah, anytime. Like, we are so blessed to have such a wholesome food, and that can be done so fast.
Yes, and with the dollop of ghee, as you rightly said.
That's non-negotiable for me.
Yes, yes, yes. If you could be reborn, Shilpa, as anyone in this world, who would you choose? Not as yourself, but anyone else, who would you choose?
I'm greatly inspired, and I usually respect all Honorable Ratan Tata ji. And if I could be anywhere near him, I would have loved to see his journey, his humbleness, his greatness.
Yes, yes. He inspires me a lot too by his groundedness and humility and, everything that he does. So
Yeah, yeah. And he's truly limitless.
absolutely. They are the builders of our nation. I mean, they have to be limitless. I mean, it's just that they have realized that limitlessness and we are on that journey. So I think that's the difference. That's the only difference. But yes, absolute salute to him.
Yeah, yeah. This is coming from huge respect. I can't even imagine anything comparable to him, but yeah, he inspires me so much.
Right. So another one is, what was your most embarrassing moment?
Okay, there have been many actually. There have been many. So there was the first time when I went on stage, and I couldn't find my next lines to say at all, while everybody was expecting, oh, she can pull it off very well, and I was actually struggling. Why am I here? What is happening next? That phase sometimes happens in your life, right? I was feeling very embarrassed, but as you know, we are trained to carry on, so I carried on. But I know that inner embarrassment I still have, and most of the time it comes from believing the people who sent you on that stage, right?
Yes.
So it is more from embarrassing them.
True, true. But yes, as you rightly said, I mean, no matter what, you just carry on.
Yeah, yeah, and that was few years back, but I think that's when I was sure what is my next skill I have to be on top of, because it's not only that you being confident and not looking full in front of the people, but it is when you get time and opportunity to impact so many hundreds and thousands of people at a time. I You cannot just waste that moment.
Yes, true. What is the one thing that you just cannot bear in anyone, any human being?
uh, I cannot bear somebody being fake, because somebody can be genuinely upset, right, angry, anything, and that's acceptable because there could be reason for that. But somebody being fake and non-trustworthy is something I cannot stand.
Right. Please define Shilpa.
Oh, define Shilpa, I would say Shilpa, the empowered one and inspired to empower others.
Okay, nice, beautiful Shilpa. Thank you so much.
Oh,
That
lovely
big.
questions, Anshu. My God, I was feeling okay, what's coming in the exam next? So you gave me that rush. Nice. Beautiful questions.
Thank you, thank you. And any last message you have for all the viewers who are watching you now or who will watch the recording later?
Yeah,
Anything?
sure. Firstly, I would like to express my gratitude to you and everybody who's listening to us, because they're spending their part of their life listening to us. So I'm very grateful for that. One message I always communicate, and which is very close to my heart, is that you own your life. So make this ownership the proud one.
Yes, absolutely. What a beautiful message, Shilpa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was absolute pleasure having you on the show, and I truly enjoyed the conversation. And there were so many, beautiful, valuable moments, and I'm sure the audience would also appreciate, taking forward this knowledge in their life.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. And I would encourage everybody that wherever you are, there is always a next level awaiting for you.
Yes,
And always believe in that next level and do whatever it takes to reach that level, because you truly deserve the success that feels good.
yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, and have a great evening ahead. And again, once again, happy Navratras.
Yeah. Thank you.
And just to the audience, so thank you so much for being the viewers of the show and watching us. I'll be meeting you on the Shera now. It will be the Shera day when we meet again. So I'll be here once again with you with another phenomenal guest and taking our journey yet further. So thank you so much. You were a pleasure to be with Shilpa, and bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. See you.